Okay, so for those of you who care, I'm sorry for being gone for so long, but I think we can forgive me because of the background that I have now, the bookshelf that I have been speaking about. It is finally here. I feel set up, I feel in a good place. Ooh, dropping my books. And it may change a bit over time because I would like a higher chair. I feel like I'm a bit low, but you get the gist. There's a bookshelf behind me and I feel like it's just so much better. It feels a lot more whole now. So this video is a bit late, but there's been lots of moving going on to get me to this place. And so today I'm doing my favorite books of 2023 because I couldn't leave that year without doing it, or start this year without doing it. I had to do it this month before it gets like way too late. So yeah, I'm just going to talk about my favorite reads of 2023, what left a mark on me, which authors I would recommend. Yeah, the best books that I think that I read. So the first one that I'm going to start with, I don't know which order to do this in. I've got 3 in my lap and there's 2 behind me. Okay. I'm going to start with... Okay. I'm going to start with the 2 on the back shelf, because I've spoken about these 2 on my channel before. It's A Court of Wings and Ruin and A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas. I just fell in love with the series in 2023. The characters in there, they feel real to me now. The writing was incredible. I fell in love with her as an author and Valaris as a universe. That series was just amazing. The characters are so endearing, the world is so endearing. I would highly recommend reading it. I have mentioned it on my channel before, I can't stop talking about it clearly, but these were 2 of my favorite reads of 2023. Also because they shocked me, because they were long books and I didn't like long books. I would be like sort of hesitant to read long books because I don't know, you always think that you can maybe get bored, or I don't know, me personally, I'm that way. I think that I could maybe get bored and it can get dull, and I kind of think to myself, what do you have to say in all those pages? It was so worth it. They were some of the best books that I've ever read, and the world building was incredible. And so yes, once again, I recommend these books. I love them with my whole entire heart. They left a mark on me, and this universe lives within my bookshelf now. So next, I have Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. This book was amazing. Overall, it's just a great story. The writing is great. It's written in an accent, so the main character, Kaya, has I think it's a southern accent. I'm not going to assume. She's got an accent, okay? And it's quite fun and it's cute to read, and she starts off as a child, and it's basically about how she goes through all this stuff and sort of a breakup of her family, and she finds comfort and she finds a home in the marsh, which is where she stays, and it really becomes her place. It becomes where she belongs, what she knows the best. And there's like a murder mystery in this, and it was great. It was great, the murder mystery. It goes from her story growing up to the court case, and it was just amazing. The twist at the end, I didn't see it coming. I'm not gonna lie, I did not see that coming at all. So it is an exciting ending. You're gonna want to flip the pages so that you can get there, because I do think it's a really good ending. Just in general, the setting was really nice to read about. It was quite comforting to read about a little girl who found such interest in a marsh, you know, like, I don't know, it's kind of different and it's unique, and it was a great story. I would like to read something else by Delia Owens. I believe she's written Cry of the Kalahari with her husband, and it's about Africa, and I'd like to read that too. I would just highly recommend this to anyone. It was just great. If you like murder mystery, if you don't mind reading about accents, because I can see people might get irritated reading an accent, which is understandable, but I think you'll be able to push it aside in this one for the story, the writing, the murder mystery. Do it. I'll save my favorite for last. The next one, I've got The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I can keep this nice and short and compressed. That book is it's a love story, but it's a different type of love. It's love that I don't think you're going to find anywhere else in any other book that you read. It's written in such a poetic way. It's written, the writing is so beautiful, but it is poetic. And there's so much stuff to highlight. There's so much stuff I did tab this. You're going to want to tab it, and I wrote my thoughts throughout. It's a tragic story, but it's a beautiful story. It's beautifully written, beautifully told, beautifully unique. And for those three things alone, you should dive into it. This is an MM romance. For those people who don't know, MM is male on male. So if that's something you're not interested in, then don't read it. But for the love story, I think you should. It doesn't matter who the two people are. You should read it. It's great. I would love to read more things by Madeline Miller. I would love to go into Circe. I'm excited to see how that goes, because just after experiencing this writing, there was not a dull moment in this. It was just like a breath of fresh air. Her writing is stunning, and that's what I think most people, I don't want to sound stupid saying this, but like, good writing is what I like, what we like. I think that's what everyone likes. I like good writing. So I recommend. Next, and my favorite read of 2023 is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've said this before, but Taylor Jenkins Reid is my favorite author. I'm sorry if you can hear the rain. It's started to rain now and I've got a tin roof, so yeah. She's my favorite author. I've read, I think, 4 books. I've read 4 books by her now, I think. The characters that she writes, they feel real. I feel like I can look them up on Instagram and I'm gonna find them. So when it comes to Evelyn Hugo, she was such an interesting woman. She was brave, she was strong, she had she was regal, she had this sass to her, and she was edgy. She was straight up one of the coolest women I've ever read about. But I think that this title gets misconstrued a lot. It's not how it would seem on the surface level. There's a beautiful hidden layer to this story. There's a beautiful aspect to it that comes into play in the middle of it. Something that you wouldn't expect looking at the cover and reading the back. And those are the types of things that leave a mark, that leave an impression on you, that stay in your thoughts, because it's not what you initially anticipated. And so you do end up being surprised, and it makes it that much better. I would highly recommend this, not only for TJR's writing, but because it's a beautiful story that needs to be heard. It needs to be heard, and it's the same for the Song of Achilles. These stories need to be heard. They need to be heard because they are special, they are real amongst the fiction, and deserve accolades. I'm telling you right now. I love Evelyn Hugo. I would love to see this come to life in a film. I would really love to see this. What I also loved about this is that, so there's a very cool format to this book. It goes between, she's basically being interviewed, and she approaches this woman, she gets a hold of this woman, and she wants this specific woman to interview her. And it happens, and you're sort of answering the question, like, trying to figure out the answer to the question of, why does she want this woman in specific? Not even the woman knows. I think her name was Monica. Not even Monica knows why. It was her that Evelyn Hugo wanted. Evelyn Hugo is like a huge name. Why would she want this Monica? We do get the answer at the end, so read it. But what I loved is that she acknowledged throughout the book that she was a woman who made mistakes, and she even says herself that she's not a good person, which I don't think is true, but anyway, she says she's not a good person. And she acknowledges all the mistakes she's made, and she acknowledges that she can't change them, but she has decided to move forward. And beautiful story. I'm sorry for hurting you, but it's a beautiful story and you need to read it. And it left a mark on me, and this left a mark on me, and this left a mark on me, and the Avatar series left a mark on me because it's a 5-star series overall. Okay, these books, they are what have made me go into this new year continuing to read, and I think you would benefit from finding those books for yourself, and maybe it could be one of these. So thank you for watching. I know it was a little bit late, but it's here nonetheless. This is here nonetheless, and we are going into the new year with more to come. It's going to be a busy year, but there's going to be more to come, and I hope you stick around with me for the journey. Bye.